I lean back. My back legs of my chair fall off of the lean-to. I end up falling back into the sandwich board that's there to promote the restaurant. The heat lamp from the restaurant then falls onto me. Here's the thing, and what
you were 37 and single.
I'm now 38 and single. Yeah, so I have a special on Netflix. It's called 37 and Single.
It's great, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I love
the
it.
first half is all about dating.
Yeah.
And it's about a breakup I went through, and then the second half is about body issues and things like that. So whatever your flavor is, there's stuff there, but it's highly, I think, relatable to most people.
Yeah.
But the dating apps, to me, if you want to be honest about them, just like you're saying, like when they originally came out, they were for people like they're kind of a crutch to get you out there. Mm-hmm. It's a false getting out there. Like you're out there, and when married people, relationship people, when they ask you about your dating life, and you're like, it's okay, I'm not really seeing anyone, they'll look at you and be like, well, are you on the apps? And if you say no, they act like you're not trying.
Yeah.
Which isn't fair. Yeah. It should be a piece of the pie. Like. Yeah. Because meeting online, like, it comes with pros and cons, just like anything else. But it's also, like, it's, for me as someone, I go out. Like, if you leave the house, if you go for coffee, if you go out and have a drink in a bar with friends, the dating apps should be less necessary to you, to me. And I'm saying that the word should, I don't like the word should, but, like, I'm just saying, for me, I noticed a pattern where I'm on these apps, and I say in the special, I'm like looking at people, I'm judging them before I would get to them. I'm not excited about them, no matter how excited I should be about a human being.
Yeah.
Like I just noticed I was like, I need to be excited to be on the date.
Right.
And I do think that's a very male thing. Like, and not everyone needs to be excited to be on the date, but I think like there's this whole thing, like the old thing of like, you got to be chased. Like, no. You don't have to be chased.
Wait, women should chase men?
I don't think I don't think women should create some sort of obstacle course to make sure they're being chased.
No.
Like the game, like creating, playing a game. I guess what I'm trying to say is like the thing that I've always talked about is like I think the best thing you can do dating is hold your standard, and it doesn't matter what your standard is. You could have your standard could be different than the next person's, but it's got to be yours, and you have to know what that is, and that takes time to figure out. Standards change.
For sure.
Your standard for a first date is different than it is for 6 months in, but what I like about your story with your significant other is your standard, whether you knew it or not, was coming to my basketball game. That is what made you go, I will take you seriously as a person that I would maybe interact with on a dating level.
Yeah. Well, then we didn't even so after the basketball game, we went to watch 2 NCAA basketball games back to back together, then went to dinner together, then went to a bar later together. And none of it, the only thing that was planned was my basketball game.
That's great.
So that turned into all of those things. And again, like, I guess my role from a women's perspective, I've talked about this before, is like, if you have to guess if a guy's into you, he's not. Like, that's always been how I felt. And so when I met Dre or other relationships that I've had in the past, like, I didn't have to guess. I just knew. So there wasn't a game that needed to be played. And so I think that is something that rings very true.
Well,
if you like a girl, you're not going to let her just...
I don't like to put my feelings in other people's hands. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
The one change I would make to the statement is when you're confused, that's actually you being turned off. Like, anytime someone says they're confused, if they just said I'm turned off by the behavior, then they would go, oh, this is how I feel.
Right.
And I think a lot of women opt for confusion because it hurts less than turned off. Because turned off feels like a personal thing that someone's doing to you, where it's like, no, this is how they act. Like, you went from this game to the bar to the full night, and you go, there's no confusion because I know exactly what's going on. I know that I feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel good. And I think, like, if you get in the game of, like, there's this old this saying that I hate is, like, if he wanted to, he would. And it's like, it's so dumb to me because it's powerless. You know, it's funny you mentioned the date that went a long time. Like, a lot of women write into the podcast that be like, I went on a 6-hour date and then he was gone the next day. And I'm like, that's one date.
Right.
I don't care if it was 6 hours or 30. One date to him. Again, the blurry eyes. Like, the guys aren't looking into that 6-hour date. They will in the long run. You'll hear from married couples, well, we went on a 6-hour date. And it's like, yeah, he's got to tell this story. Now it's easy to tell that story. But in the moment, did you have fun on a 6-hour date? You know, not the 6-hour date means that he likes me. Mm-hmm. You know, that I just think, like, and again, these are things I understand why people go the other way. I'm not judging someone for going, I was on a 6-hour date, so what does it mean? That's the natural way to go.
Right.
If you change the perspective a little bit and you go, did I have fun on the 6-hour date?
Yeah, I think it's for a lot of women, they're like you have to decide first if you're into the person instead of, I feel like what a lot of women do is like, they're worried so much about, does he like me? You don't even check in with yourself. Like, well, do you like him?
Right.
Do you want to see him again?
Right.
And then, but you're so worried about them rejecting you or not hearing back from them that you're just like preoccupied with, like, you just want to be wanted.
I get it.
You know?
And I totally get it. Listen, we all want to be liked. We all want to go on a date and have someone go, like, we don't even care about the date. You just want someone to go, this person's awesome.
Right.
You know,
like I pick you. Like,
right.
Thanks. Like, I'm not picked last on the, you know, in the schoolyard. But what is dating in New York like? Because I feel like here it's so much easier probably to meet people. Am I wrong? Maybe not the right people. I've also heard dating in big cities is the worst. I've toured the country doing stand-up, but we did a live dating stage show. Like, we went to all the cities. And we did You Up. You went on dates in different cities? No. We did this You Up date. I have a podcast called the You Up Podcast, but we do a live show. Okay. And the live show, we just did every city in the country. Like, so you get to hear every city. They come up to you and they go, dating sucks here. Yeah. And then they'll have like a line based on why it sucks so much. No place is going to fix you. So I think dating's hard no matter where you go. If there was a dating oasis, if there was a dating Garden of Eden where everyone just matched with their soulmate right away, we'd all move there. You'd hear about it. It depends on what you want. Okay. So dating here, you can go on a date. There are places, the person you could date and the place you would go on the date could be right below your feet. You're in a building like. Right. Hey, you live in the West Village. I live in the West Village. Yeah. I got a great bar on the corner. A date can happen 2 seconds. And I think that's a positive. Yes. That's also a negative because then it becomes confusing. There's a paralysis of choice, so to speak. Yeah. You know, you have a lot of options and dating apps can almost feel like work. Dating in New York, I think, is like a fantastic time. Like, I think someone living in, you know, if you're living in Madison, Wisconsin, I was just in Madison, Wisconsin, I did shows there. You're probably looking at like a dating life in New York, like, this is amazing. There's just, you know, my buddy, he was in Boston, he was like, I go on the apps, he came here to visit. You never run out of people. Right. And it's like, there's good and bad to that, you know, like. They also have those same options that you're seeing. Right. Like on the other side. Everyone's got options. And it's also like, you know, how do you stay not distracted and how do you like pull out of the game, you know, like, and also there's so many fun bars here, like, you know, in smaller towns, there's maybe less options, but also people will give you the time and the, you know, the effort that maybe you're looking for. I think it's like values too, because I think it's also where you grew up. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like sometimes I still have like a small town kind of mentality and like growing up very like average and normal. Like, it's hard for me to relate to people who grew up in a big city or were like super rich growing up. Do you know what I mean? So, right. So yes, if I met someone in a city that was from the Midwest or from the South or something, that would make more sense than if I don't know, meeting somebody from LA is different than meeting someone who, but then the people who move to LA are also moving there a lot of times to like be famous.
Right.
Know?
Well, you know.
So then you run into that. So I don't know.
L.A. and New York, you run into hustlers.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
which is a problem. You're now not the most important thing in their life.
Yeah.
You know, settling down and starting a family. They're like, well, I have this other thing that I'm here for.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Like,
Yeah.
I live in New York to do comedy. So, like, you know, once I became more established, then I could say, okay, well, how does a person work into my life? But here's the problem with men. We always think we're looking for a relationship, even though we act like we don't. And I think that's what gets, you know, like, there's a thing on Hinge you can mark, like, what you're looking for. And I think it's the dumbest thing ever, because every man's going to put, I'm looking for long term, but I'm open to short. You know, and it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
You'd like
I'm
to get a
open to a one-night stand.
Right. I'm open to a but if the most amazing person alive, you know, and the
Is
men
that
truly
true?
believe that.
But do men stop in their tracks when they find that right person? Is like for your, like you said, 38 and single.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for Jared Freed not to be?
That's the problem.
To be 38 and
I
in
wish
a
I had that
relationship.
answer. You know, they say the one that got away only is very much a male thing. You know, if you think about it, it makes some sense, right?
Yeah.
Because men break up before the next step. A lot of women work on things 1,000 times before ending it and going, I've tried everything I could.
Oh, yeah.
So generally speaking, but that's kind of how it goes. So it would make sense that a lot of men are going, I could have ended up with that person now that I think about it. You know, now
Do you
that
have a one that got away?
I don't have a one that got away, but I look back at my past relationships and I go, I could have made these things work.
Have you taken someone to a sporting event on a first date or a second date?
I don't believe in ticketed first dates. I think that's
wait, tell me more.
It's just too much. I'd rather get drinks and get to know someone and talk. I think like the ticketed first date, I think it was Greta Titelman. She's a very funny comedian. She had that advice from her mom, I think. She said it in my podcast, and I've kind of like taken that advice. And I just think, I don't think I would have done it before, but I just like that it's a saying. It's
Ticketed
for me,
meaning just like a sporting event or
show, movie, sporting event.
Okay.
I just think a first date is we got to know.
Okay, movie I understand.
Sporting event's more talkative.
A play I understand. I feel like a sporting event is really fun though, and you have plenty of time to talk. No.
Almost too much time, some would say. Like, can you last 4 quarters with someone? Maybe. What if it's not a match? To me, I've always like been a wine bar first date guy. Like I like a wine bar that's also a coffee place.
Got it.
Because that could, like, I think that's like to me that's the 2024 space.
Okay.
I see them a lot. They're popping up a lot. Like high-end coffee place that also does wine.
Yeah.
To me, perfect first date.
So we're also talking about first dates of like you don't know the person. Like
Right.
this is your first time hanging out.
I don't want to be at a sporting event with someone that I don't know. Right?
I guess maybe just because I like sports, so like it would be fun for me.
Sure.
And I guess it was also my first date technically, and like it was cool.
But if you were at a game, how many games do you go to a year? A lot.
Yeah.
So, but like if you went to like one game a year, and it's with this person that like
I get that.
you don't even know, and you're like,
that.
I don't know, I want to like be a pig, I want to eat like an animal, I want to drink like an asshole.
What about like
at a game?
activities? Like
Activities, a walk is nice.
A walk.
Walk gets looked down on.
Because you can dump them off at the corner if you don't
right.
like them.
We'll do it at the end of the park, and then we'll see.
Yeah, gotta go.
Right.
It's nice walking.
Yeah.
With you in this 30-degree weather.
Well, I'm saying like you're looking for activities. Activities to me, the date is the activity.
I personally think that dates are better when there's something that you guys can actively do together.
Absolutely.
Than just sitting across, because it could get, I mean, I guess it's a good parameter, and maybe when you're a little bit older, you want to just make sure the person's intellectual enough to hold a conversation for as long as you're sitting there.
Or that we're a match.
Yeah, but I like the icebreakers, like and I hate bowling, but even bowling like would be fun.
I just think you're stuck.
Like my boyfriend and I, for the second date, I guess all of our dates are like activities and we love it. But like those little tubes where you're like skydiving.
Okay.
I fly.
I know what you're talking about. They're in like Vegas. Yeah. But then now they have them
they're also
everywhere.
in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Which is like our second date was there, and we were literally skydiving for.
But
like,
you guys,
that was fun.
To me, that's where the time factor comes in. You guys had this long first date, and then you know that you could have.
Right.
You were comfortable enough. Like to me, like bowling first date. No, I just want to get to know. I just want to see if we're like if we got it. You know, like do we have the back and forth? Good dates are good improv. It's not stand up. Good first dates are good improv. You need a partner to be funny with.
Improv, okay.
Improv
not
is
stand-up.
Stand-up, I don't want to perform for someone on a first date. I don't think that's a good first date.
Or like try to impress them.
Right. Or them try to impress me. I don't need them to like,
it's
tap dance for me. I want to be funny with them.
So if you were trying to impress a girl on a first, second, third, fourth, fifth date, what sporting event would you bring her to?
I think a basketball game is probably best for a date.
Would it be Celtics?
We're
in New York with a Celtics hat, which I thought was pretty wild.
Is it? Well, you're in Manhattan. This is transplant land. No one cares here. Everyone's trying to.
Knicks fans are nuts.
Knicks fans are great. I love going to Knicks games. I just went the other night. I like to just be at an event. So
no, I get that.
Like a Knicks game to me would be like a great date. I'm not gonna wear my Celtics hat to a Knicks game. I'm not like looking to start shit.
But if the Celtics were playing here, you would.
Oh yeah, I would wear my Celtics hat and I would go to the game and I would cheer for them and have fun with that and the fun way you would have fun with that. Yeah. I care. I want the Celtics to win, but I also like, they seemingly the last few years they have a toughness issue. And you go.
Yeah.
I watched the Knicks the other night and. What's his name? Randall and Julius Randle and Brunson. I love watching them. They're so tough.
Yeah.
Like they're going at it. And I was like, man, like and I know the Knicks aren't as good as the Celtics, but I was like, I like pieces of this team.
Yeah.
That I want to like inject into the Celtics.
They're fun. I mean, I think the thing with the Knicks is like they oftentimes prove to be better than they should be.
Right.
Just because of that like grit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately I feel like the Celtics are turning into like another version of the Suns where like they have all the right pieces and for some reason can't get it together when they have to.
Right.
And
you saw it with that, like I was kind of watching those the in-season tournament games.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to like, how are they going to react to this? And like
right.
when they got beat by the Pacers, I was like, oh, this is like beat the new boss, same as the old boss. I was like, this was like an important game that they seemingly took serious. I do have an idea for the in-season tournament.
Okay, let's hear it.
And this is my idea, and I think it is the best idea I've ever had.
We'll send it to Adam Silver. Go.
Please, someone send this to Adam Silver. Well, you got weight in this basketball game, okay?
Yeah.
The in-season tournament, every team should be sponsored by a local food establishment. So every team, because here's the problem. I, the fan, kind of feel left out on the winnings of an in-season tournament.
The $500,000.
Yeah, where's my money? Right, why do I give a fuck?
Yeah.
So like every team has a local something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Oklahoma City, what's a local thing there? Like, I don't even know. But
I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma City. I'm trying to figure out what that would be.
Like, what's Cleveland's thing? Like, if
Cleveland's thing, well, I know Akron's thing would be like Swenson's. Have you ever heard of Swenson's?
No, what's that?
Have you been there? Oh my gosh, it's this fast food restaurant that's like wildly popular.
Perfect.
Like well known.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
Swenson's is the one from Akron.
Cleveland Cavaliers sponsored by Swenson's.
Or Panini's is another one that's also included. Anyway, continue. Yeah,
I always say for the Celtics, it's Dunkin' Donuts. National company.
Yeah.
But it's like a Boston. Dunkin' is on every corner in Boston.
Yeah.
So if the Celtics in-season tournament was sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts, have you ever seen at a baseball game where they like give you a free taco if someone steals a base?
Yeah, well, they do like free Chick-fil-A if you like get over 100 points at certain arenas.
Have you ever seen that arena go? How insane people go?
Yeah, it's the most they cheer.
It's the most they. Thank you.
It doesn't matter if it's double overtime. You're going to cheer more for the free food.
Well, this is the thing. They're going to give you a coupon on the way out for a free Chick-fil-A, and people are going out of their minds. So this is my point. Yeah. The in-season tournament, whoever wins, their sponsoring partner gives a day of free food in the city confines. So like Dunkin' Donuts if if the Celtics win, the city limits of Boston, if there's a Dunkin' Donuts within the city limits of Boston, you get a free iced coffee.
Yeah.
And I promise you, that city will be going nuts. Like, that's like having money on the game. Like, you have skin in the game. Like, if the Celtics held up a iced coffee when they won, like, we'd be like, ah! Like, I would be going nuts. I'd be high-fiving people. Everyone would be at Dunkin' the next day, happy. You're giving away, like, wouldn't that be great?
Well, and a team tried to do this. Well, did do it.
What did they do?
Detroit.
Well, they had no hope. They knew they were going to lose.
Once they won a game, though, they would get like a free, I think it was like 6 wings or something from this like Wingstop or something.
There we go.
And
I'm
then
sure
they lost 27 games in a row. And so Wingstop is like, yes,
right.
I got a month of like not giving away free food, but people were going to the games and they were excited for those free wings.
Maybe we're going to get those wings. I'm telling you, if that would get me caring about the in-season tournament. I would be like, wouldn't that be great?
It's the same thing like t-shirt toss. People go nuts. Like those t-shirts are like the worst material. Like
7
rolled
cents.
up in a rubber band. They're all like triple XL.
Right. What are you going to wear?
T-shirts.
A Chase Bank shirt at the club? Like,
but people go nuts for those.
Yeah. That's why when I was watching this in-season tournament, I'm like, yeah, good for them, I guess. I was interested. I liked watching the games. I liked the different courts. But I was like, how do we get people like me, the Jims and Joes, more involved? And that's my solution.
I get that. You want to spill the tea?
Let's spill the tea.
With some Bobby tea. So I have in order to do the Spill the Tea segment, you have to crack it open next to the mic like ASMR. So for Spill the Tea, we like to spill the tea, obviously, with Mobby Tea. You've been on so many dates. We've talked about dating a lot, but I have got to know your worst date.
See, this is a thing
ever.
This is a very not. I've never really had that.
You've had all good dates?
If they're not, I don't have horror stories. Maybe someone has a horror story about me. Again, I'm not gonna but I don't think they do.
Yeah.
But I get emails from women, and I hear every horror story. I hear every.
Yeah.
And they are horror stories. I don't, and I'm like sitting there like, I can't believe this happened. Like
what?
What you get. What I think, to me, the horror stories are like, hey, I had a great time with you. I don't want to go out again. And then the guy writes back and says, well, here's my Venmo for half the date that I took you on. Like, to me, I see
that's
that.
Just rude.
It's rude. And to me, I go, oh, and also, like, you've put dating into this mathematical equation of, like, what do I get for this amount of money? It's kind of disgusting to me.
Well, that just seemed like a bruised ego, honestly.
Totally. They're trying to hurt someone as much as they feel hurt.
Right.
And so, but what you notice is with a lot of these stories that you hear from the other side, from women, it's this, like, a guy's there for sex and, like, it's not going to happen. And he's realizing that, and he's, like, angry in a way. And I'm like, I don't understand that perspective. Like, but it seems like a lot of these dates that go weird, it's like a guy trying to move the conversation towards a sexual space, someone who's not really looking to have that conversation. And again, this is the icky part of dating that I get kind of pressed with talking about.
Yeah.
But, for me, I go on dates and I generally have a nice time. And on the special, I talk about being very picky. I think that also plays into it. Like, I don't just go out with someone that I haven't, like, had a nice text back and forth with or have something in common with. And so it's, like, harder for me to go on these dates where they're, like, someone just comes in acting like a monster. Like,
Never an embarrassing moment?
I've embarrassed myself. I'm trying to think of, but I don't think anyone's. One time I was on a date with a girl, and they had this outdoor area. And, like in New York, they have these outdoor areas that's like on the street, like from COVID.
Yeah.
And it was a little lifted up from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And we were sitting, and so she's there, I'm here, behind me is the sidewalk. So it was a little bit of a lip between the back of my chair and the back of the and the back of this like lean-to.
Yeah.
I lean back, my back legs of my chair fall off of the lean-to. So now I'm like this, and I'm like about to like make it work. Like I'm in mid fall. I'm like, maybe this won't happen.
Yeah, I see
and it was like 10
going.
seconds of like me trying to like land this.
It was a cartoon.
It was a total cartoon. I end up falling back into the sandwich board that's there to promote the restaurant. It falls in half. The heat lamp from the restaurant then falls onto me.
No.
So now I'm just in a heap of like, this woman laughed at me.
You're cooking sandwiches.
Literally, this woman laughed at me.
Oh my word.
For a solid 15 minutes. Just laughed. And I agreed with her because I was like, this is the way I fell just now took 15 minutes for me to fall. Like, big tree, fall hard. Like I felt, and the heat lamp is on me, and they're like apologizing to me that like I broke the sandwich board, I broke the heat lamp. They're like, oh my God. And it was all because the back legs of the chair.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. I'm glad you didn't get hurt though from the heat lamp.
I am too.
Like, just elevates, you just get set on fire.
Yeah, like literally live to tell the tale.
Did you guys go on a date after that?
I think we did. Like we were on like a second, third date.
Okay,
like it was like,
yeah.
But I just remember her laughing at me for like 15 minutes. Like she couldn't stop laughing, and I was laughing too. But it was like, that was a little bit embarrassing. One time I took a girl to a restaurant for a date thinking, my buddy was like, you got to try this date spot. And I thought, this is a big date thing where you're like, well, I wouldn't go to like a game on a first date. I also I think you can like do too much where you put too much pressure on a first date.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's like, oh, we're going to go to Shea Rich.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to be on a date that's too stuffy for the nature of their relationship.
Carbone, yeah.
Right. Hey, I'll take your carbone. You go, what are you trying to sell here, dude?
Right.
If someone does that. I went on a date. My friend was like, you got to try this place. He's a big food guy. He was like, you got to try this place. It's like right near your place. I was like, awesome. He goes, they got it. And I kind of looked at the menu, but I didn't. I was just like, I trusted my friend. And I take this girl there, and it's just too nice. Like, it didn't fit the vibe of like, we're on like a second date. And I'm like, and I call my friend. I go, what the fuck? What's that place? He goes, you took a date there? I go, yeah, it had a pretzel on the menu. He goes, because I saw pretzel on the menu, and I thought like,
Yeah, like soft pretzel bites or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And no, it was like a pretzel that came on its own plate with like a smear of butter, like really done like artsy.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was a pretzel on the menu. I thought it was like normal. He goes, what do you think? I go to places with pretzels on a big ring?
Yeah.
Like on a big, a big hook comes out, Dave and Buster's style. I was like, kinda.
Yeah.
Like, why would you send me to like Shea Pretzel?
And then there was escargot, and then there was squid ink spaghetti.
They literally brought over both our plates at the same time, like served them, like sat them down at the same time, like, and then like took the thing off. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I looked at her. I was like, I'm sorry. I feel like an idiot. I just felt so stupid.
Well, speaking of food, we have some videos to react to, and I think the first one is based around food. Jared, so we have this video here. This content creator ate nothing but $1.50 Costco hot dogs for a week to see if it's worth it.
Hot dog meal for the past week to see if paying $1.50 for a glizzy and drink was worth it for 7 days. And here are the results. I ate 29 hot dog meals for a grand total of $43.50, 1/4 of what the average millennial spends on food a week. I also might have started a new diet trend on accident because I lost 4.2 pounds in 7 days, or I have a giant tapeworm. And to my surprise, I never got sick of eating hot dogs once, despite my bowel movements resembling Willy Wonka's chocolate river. So was it worth it? Are you kidding me? I balled on a budget, lost weight, and had the culinary experience of a lifetime? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Right. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do.
You're still not impressed?
I'm still
I thought
angry.
it was cute.
It's good for him.
He likes Costco meals.
But that's the thing. Like, it's like this. Like, you're like making fun of someone who has a meal at Costco.
I don't think so.
You've turned them into a National Geographic tribe that exists. To me, he's visiting. He's going, look at. It's this thing of like they serve food at Costco that people are like can't believe. Like, and it's like. someone does do their lunch there. Like, good for that person. Like, they're treating something not special as if it's this special thing, and you're only doing that because you're like, oh my, like it's kind of like, to me, it's like turning Carhartt into fashion. Like, there's someone that wears
Turning who into fashion?
Carhartt, like the clothing apparel. Like Carhartt, Carhartt's like a useful apparel. Like, it's like. It's jeans that are made for people who work outside with their hands that do,
okay.
It's like a Carhartt jacket has like, it's made specifically for like doing work, like it's.
So you're saying it's like those TikTokers with like 100 million followers who are dressing up and working as Walmart employees.
Are they doing that?
Yeah, you've never seen that?
See, that annoys me too.
That annoys me. This didn't annoy me.
Right, like to me, you're using, like at that point, give the Walmart workers that you're replacing or doing things instead of, give them money to like live on so that they can not work like they don't work.
Right.
Like I'm someone who considers himself, I like making money. I like people who make money. I like when it's made honestly. Like the entertainment value of like, let's go look how people in middle America live and see if it's worth it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like and again, I'm not above making fun of people. I just, sometimes I see stuff like that and I'm like
I'm above making fun of people who are honestly trying to make a living.
Right, or honestly trying to have lunch on a Wednesday.
Well, here's two guys, a Harlem Globetrotter and a seemingly fan.
Okay.
Spinning a basketball on their finger. So I would like to see if there's a deeper level of meaning that you
I'll
can
find it
in this one.
Right.
So this is something they like do often.
Yeah.
Like pass the ball.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Into this. Great video.
He's the world champion.
He's like
basketball
so
freestyle.
limber, actually.
This is Susan Boyle.
Do you know what's really hard? Like, because I can spin a ball on my finger.
Yeah.
But going like around your back like that takes a lot of shoulder flexibility. Even
Look
like
what he's got shoulder flexibility.
It's like doing a full split. But the Globetrotter is just like, okay, bro, you can stop now.
Right.
Guys.
Which is how I knew that this video wasn't fake.
Well,
Because his reaction, like he's actually kind of.
well, the Globetrotter's wondering, am I getting fucked with? Right? Like, oh, I fell into the prank.
Yeah.
That's his face. He's going, uh-oh, I'm the loser.
But wouldn't you think if it was fake, you'd kind of like play into it, like, oh yeah, like that's like he was kind of like, wait.
Well,
why are you doing this?
There's a point for him where he goes, what's next?
Yeah.
I didn't know. So, I don't know what happened before this, but he obviously went up to like meet a Globetrotter, which is a normal thing.
Yeah.
The Globetrotters used to like, I'll put the ball in the guy's hand and they'll
like
spin
pose, they'll drop it. It'll be
right.
cute.
I mean, and again, he has a look of a guy who doesn't look like he knows how to do this.
True.
So it's Susan Boyle coming out on America's Got Talent. And we're like, oh, here comes a grandma. She's going to make a fool of herself.
Right.
And then she comes out and she's amazing.
Right.
And then we go, oh, what? And now I kind of just want to know the story that like got us here.
So,
like,
well, I know the story that comes after. So supposedly they signed him for something after this.
oh, mate, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good story.
I did
like,
a little bit of a deeper dive.
I would say, so he's just a random guy. He's not like an influencer.
Yeah, so
he's not.
it wasn't fake. Like he just came.
No, I'm saying him, the person. He didn't come up to because here's
this was not staged. No,
But
and
this
he's
is-
not American. So I think that like
Okay.
that's why I don't think he became a Globetrotter. He was like from. I'm sure we could figure it out, but like some other country. But they signed him for something, and so the next photo I saw of him was like him in the Globetrotter uniform. Okay, so this is a speech to her cheating boyfriend in front of all of her friends. So she gathered her friends and family to.
I feel for everyone in this situation. Like, she'll be clapped and yes, queen to death, I'm sure. Like, people are going to go, you did it, you got him. But everyone's sad in this situation. I feel for everyone here. The friends.
And uncomfortable.
The friends have to feel uncomfortable. They got to choose a side in the breakup. They got to, the cheater goes off, tail between his legs. She gets cheered for one night, and then tomorrow she's alone and sad, and she was cheated on. It sucks. Okay, play the sad video.
Y'all, I would just like to thank y'all for coming here.
That's it? That's all you want?
Like, I really couldn't ask for better friends. I really couldn't.
Oh, they know.
Seriously the best. And I would like to
Did I have a booger coming out of my nose the whole time?
making me realize
Oh, I haven't seen
okay.
it.
so
No.
much better. Because every single person here knows that you were trying to talk to some girl named Dennis that about being friends with benefits.
The girl right there, though, she like
Yeah, she won't look up.
she won't even look up.
For everything you sent her, especially within the past few days.
Oh, and he's looking down now. Are they involved?
You literally sent her the same picture you sent me today.
That's bad.
Yeah, so.
Who said that's bad?
Oh, that's bad.
Who's the dude? Yeah, shut up, fucking Morgan Freeman.
Oh, someone's coming down the stairs with his bag of
Oh,
things.
with his bag.
Oh, wow.
Y'all.
This was like a reality TV show, and for that reason, you're out of the house.
Yeah. I
This
don't.
sucks.
It sucks. I don't hate it, though. I mean, he maybe learned his lesson from that.
He's gonna find. Here's the thing about men generally. Like, sure, this group is done.
Yeah.
He'll go off. He'll find a new group. Like, men don't have like friends. You know, like this guy.
No, I get
He's gonna
that.
be the Incredible Hulk. He'll be Lou Ferrigno, town to town, find a new group, a new woman to cheat on. I don't know. Getting cheated on sucks. Cheating on someone sucks. I'm not. You really like hurt someone, and
Yeah.
like, again, cheating is taken as personal, which I get, but it's really one person fucking up, like
Right.
living out their issues that they have, and it has nothing to
Right.
do with the person they cheated on. And that can live. I'm sure it'll live with her. She probably needs some sort of form of therapy. I don't like the video of it all because it's going to go viral. That's the thing. Like, this will get. There's someone that I follow on social media that they keep posting videos of like them singing a song, and then they're like, "Can you believe I invited my boyfriend to this concert or my ex?" And I don't even know if the ex is there, but the whole premise is I'm singing a song that I wrote about my ex, and he's at the concert.
Got it. Okay. Yeah,
And I don't know if it's true or not, but like they're just hacking virality at that point. Again, to go back to something we said in the beginning of like, you need people in the comments. The people in the comments are generally the saddest people in America. So you need other people who have an ex who they wish they could write a song about,
right.
getting their itch scratched by you maybe doing this thing. I don't even know if it's true.
Right.
I don't know. This will turn into someone will see this. They'll do it to someone who didn't cheat on them, who just doesn't take them on dates. They're in a situationship. I don't know. I hate slippery slope arguments as I'm making a slippery slope argument. I just don't.
I like glitter.
What's that?
Cover their house in glitter.
Right. You can't get glitter out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what you should do if you ever get cheated on. Cover their house in glitter and call it a day. I would
or
love
just send the
opportunity.
screenshots to their mom. Because moms,
Yeah.
because moms think their sons are good no matter what, and
yeah, that's
the thing. This guy, his
That's
mom's
wild,
never
though.
gonna see this,
true.
and if she sees it, she's gonna
be mad at the group.
She's gonna go, "You got lucky. You got away from this woman who would make a video about you."
Right.
And that's not fair either. I think and again, that's what the comments here are probably. They're probably one side of people being like, "Yes, fuck him. Out this fucking cheater," and then there's another group going, "Who would date that girl now? Good thing you got out of that one." Neither of them are people to be like have fun with. They're not fun. I don't know. I'm going on and on. I'm sorry.
Glitter.
I like the glitter idea.
Glitter idea.
Tell their mom.
Glitter's a good idea.
Right.
Tell your mom if you're really done.
I think this is as done as it gets.
You'd be surprised.
Right. Again, we don't trust the victim in this sense. We're like, we're two sides of the aisle.
Jared, before I let you go, I have 3 rapid fire questions.
You know
for
I can't do rapid fire.
There are buzzer. You're gonna try your best
I'm gonna try
here.
my best.
Okay. Describe your ideal food and drink combo while sitting courtside.
Peanuts and popcorn.
Easy.
Either or.
They're also free if you have courtside seats.
Excuse me, I don't know as someone who has sat courtside.
They always have them in those little things. You can just pick them up.
Peanuts and popcorn. I just like to keep eating. Like I just want like the hand to mouth kind of thing.
Steady snack.
Yeah. Probably I like a beer at a game.
Okay.
Like a light beer. Just something to sip on.
All American.
All American. I can't be seen with a hot dog in public.
Heck no. Especially not in MSG. Are you kidding?
I'm a man.
Only if you're eating 29 of them in a week can you be seen with a hot dog.
To see what middle America losers do.
All right. Who is one person, dead or alive, that you would love to sit courtside with?
My future wife. No.
Cute.
The dead or alive, I'd like to sit with Tom Brady. That's my guy.
Cool.
Big Tom Brady fan.
Yeah. That'd be sick. What is one event in history, it could be a sporting event or other, that you would have loved to have been courtside for?
I was at a game that I'm very proud to have been at. I was at the Patriots snowball game when Tom Brady.
When was that?
That was in 2001.
Okay.
Tom Brady, they beat the Raiders in the snow. And that
Cool.
started their
Dynasty.
And I was there with my dad and my brother, and we almost left.
'Cause
Brady
it was
fumbled because
okay,
it was snowing, and Brady, quote unquote, fumbled. And it was the first year they had video replay. So that's why they reversed the call. And they said he was throwing it. He was in the motion of throwing. And we were literally like, my dad looks at my brother and I. He goes, let's get out of here. So we see the fumble. We start running to the car to beat traffic. It's snowing. We had to go across the stadium. So if we had left from the side we were leaving from, we would have been out of the stadium, never been able to get back in.
Wow, yeah.
So we had to go across the stadium. As we're going across, we hear the crowd go nuts. They go, we reverse the call. We go back in the seats. They're not even our seats. We're in a different seat now.
Yeah.
We're sitting there. It's the last game ever at Foxborough Stadium. So it was just
cool.
a free-for-all. And it's the old aluminum seats. It's not even like the nice seats that come out.
Yeah.
And there's a guy next to us, and he's peeing in the row. And I was like 15 at the time, 13, whatever. And he's peeing in the row, and he just looks at us and he goes, I can't miss this game.
It's also like a luck thing too. I feel like with sports fans, like you have to stay in your seat if like your team is doing well. Like you can't move. That's like you know what I mean. It's like a luck thing.
Especially at that point in the game, you're like, we just got this call reversed. Like, what's going to happen next? And they were driving down to I think tie it to go to overtime. So, so I was at the game that and again, that era of the Patriots, I can understand why people hate that era because it got repetitive, to have them winning all the time.
Yeah.
But it definitely was a formative part of my sports life to follow those teams. So that's definitely the game I'm proudest to have been field side for.
Cool. Well, Jared, thank you so much for coming on Courtside Club.
Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Can you tell
Pleasure.
everybody where to find you?
So I'm on Instagram. I do a lot of stuff on there. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok, Twitter. The only thing that's different is TikTok. I'm Wizard of Ha.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then everything else, I'm Jared Freed. And I'm doing my specials on Netflix, 37 and Single.
Very good.
So you can go watch it anytime, date night. It's a great special to watch with your significant other. I think a lot of times stand-up comedy shows, it's maybe for just dudes or maybe just women.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of, I like to think, and the response I've gotten from people is like, I could watch it with my boyfriend or my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And there's different reactions from both genders as well.
Totally.
To some of the jokes. But yeah,
So
definitely fun.
It's definitely fun for the whole family. I'm on the road. I'm doing a whole new hour. And it's all one story about going to the beach with my family. So I talk about going to the beach with my family. So if you've ever vacationed with your family, if you spend time with your family, if you like hanging with your parents and get annoyed with them while liking hanging out with them, you'll love the live show. I'm doing one. I don't know when this comes out. But
within the next 2 weeks. So
Buffalo. I'll be in Buffalo. New York City. The first show's sold out. The second one still has tickets. Boston. First one sold out. Second one's got a couple left. Toronto. And then I'm coming to LA. I got New Orleans. I got all dates on my calendar. Yeah, they're all there. Detroit, jaredfreed.com for tickets. And come with your family and your friends. It's like it's been cool to get like the response of like, I'm talking about my parents, but like it could be anyone's. At the end of my special, there's a scene I put at the end during the credits. It's my parents. We put hidden cameras in the green room.
Wait, didn't you have that in
my
37
special?
and single?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end,
I thought you'd do another one.
No. So
okay,
I at the end I put hidden cameras in the green room, and I wanted to show my parents like yelling at me.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like Katz's Deli. I'm taking a picture of my mom. Like there's all this stuff. And everyone, I got so many messages. Oh my God, that was like my parents are like that. My mom takes pictures like that. And it was weird because like as I'm getting those messages, I'm writing all this material about my parents, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's like the Marvel movie doing the end credit that previews the next movie.
Right. Yeah.
So if you come to the live show, if you watch 37 Single, you watch my parents in the end, you go, and it feels good to watch that. You'll love the next hour. So jaredfree.com for tickets. Thank you so much for having me. This was a fantastic, fun time.
We could talk for hours.
I'm sorry I went deep on the.
Just laugh and move on, okay?
Right.
I'm just kidding. Thanks, Jared.